Whoa. Obviously a much younger me, dark hair. I think that's in my apartment. I think that's in Long Street, where I thought it was a palace. Had a great bunch of, I think there were 6 guys in the dorm that year. It was phenomenal. Bill Hill helped me move the sofa up the stairs. It was a good year. Beginning of a great time. Ah, the old Golden Blue. It's probably my first year because there's O'Hara, Gleason, Stahl, Seltzer, Van Dusen, Reuter, Ryman, O'Hara, and Hill. Yeah, that was a strong department. The Peddie All-Star Kazoo Band. So we did steady on Peddie on this. So getting ready for Blair Day, we thought we should have a band. You lift one knee, lift the other knee, and you go down the football field. And we had like 70 kids who were marching down the football field and playing their kazoos. Couldn't hear anything. The volume was nowhere near what we needed, but it was a lot of fun. Oh, wow. This is it's a shot from Mary Poppins. Bill courageously played the role of Mary Poppins, which was probably his greatest theatrical stretch. And I was Bert, which was a huge stretch for me. And you can imagine Harry Holcomb as the guy. Harry was the guy when we're floating around the room was the laughing uncle, right? And that Holcomb laugh. We had a great time. Wow, I think I don't need my glasses for this. It's my favorite piece of Peddie hardware. This is the thing that frames the fall. So the number of people who kiss this cup at the end of Blair Day is probably not countable. Blair is the team we love to play. And on Blair Day, it's the team we love to beat. Ooh, that's the press coverage after the Annenberg gift. The gift was announced on Father's Day, and on that afternoon, Finn sent down a huge magnum of champagne. At that time, I was the director of admissions. Oh, is this really the bottle? Look at that. Look at that. Wow, frankly, I remember it being larger than this. There must have been more than one of them. But it was the largest champagne bottle I'd ever seen. Look at that. It says, with champagne from this bottle, members of Peddie's faculty and staff toasted Walter Annenberg's generosity to Peddie and rededicated themselves to continuing the good work that made such a lasting impression on him. The occasion was his $100 million gift to Peddie's endowment. He came to see us in the fall. He walked into the back of the chapel, and everybody knew he was coming. And he waited for a minute. He was a modest man, but he could put on a show. He waited for a minute, and everybody stood up and just started screaming. But it was a happy time. Finimus your labores from 6 feet away. Memory from our COVID years. That was a 2020 class that had to go home before commencement and never got to come back and be together again. We had recently installed the carillon, and I was on a call with the class officers, and they were still wondering whether we were going to get back on campus for commencement, and it became clear over time that we weren't going to be able to do that. And in one of those phone calls, my windows were open and they could hear the carillon, and I remember they were pretty emotional about what it was like to hear the carillon but not be able to be on campus. This is one of the greater editions of the Chronicle. The summer of 2023, celebrating the successful end of the One Peddie campaign. That was an important emotional milestone because we wanted to match as a community what Walter Annenberg had done in 1993. It was just an amazing effort. We had to move past relying on a small number of very generous people and had to, as a community, develop the habit of a larger number of people being generous to the school. And this picture, I think, speaks to one of the miracles, I think, of this school. It attracts people who are happy to subordinate their egos to the mission of the school. I think we've been very lucky over the long history of Peddie Heads to have people who are more in love with the mission and the culture and what it might be than they are in love with making some historical statement of their own careers. Oh, this is a picture of the Quinns. Peddie has had a big and wonderful influence on not just the three of them, but on Marianne and on me. Being head of a school, working in a boarding school are time-consuming exercises. I think the thing that makes it meaningful to me that these kids came to Peddie with me was how much they enjoyed it, how much it meant for me and Marianne to see them enjoy it and see them to have the kind of experiences and the kinds of friends that they wouldn't have found anywhere else. And Marianne was, and always is, heroic in the way she supports me in the hours I spend, but more importantly, the way she keeps them together. So this is the George Parsons alma mater, Peddie to thee. I think what few people can recite, at least few people who've gone through it, few alums can recite without, catching their throat, is whatever befalls when Peddie calls. Because that is the thing that people cite all the time about what the school means to them, what their friendships have meant to them, and what memories they won't be able to forget. It's a magnetic place. I mean, the school is just a very magnetic place, and those lines are one aspect of it. But whenever I travel, I tell people this, I try to wear something Peddie-ish. I think I can count on the fingers of one hand the times I've gotten through an airport without being approached by someone who will inevitably whisper "Alla viva" or say "steady old Peddie." This bond is, I think, in some people's minds often better understated, but very full of pride. This is the cover of the next Chronicle issue. And I remember posing for this picture. I'm taking off my tie. It happens to be the tie I'm wearing today. It's going to be a wonderful farewell. There's things that Marianne and I want to do. We want to travel, where we can still carry our bags. We want to just have time to do things together that we haven't had time to do, or pursue independent habits. I'm told that I need to develop some interests to keep things moving smoothly, and I'm working on those. We're going to, move to Williamsburg, Virginia, where we've long been looking for a place to live. I just think I'm one of the luckiest people on earth to have had the chances I had at this school, and the chances my family has had. I'm thrilled that Jim is going to come in, and I think he's exactly the right guy, the right person to do this. And I think he's going to be as excited as I was, as John was, as Tom was, as Ann was, I think as Ed was. It's an amazing place, and I will miss it, but I am ready to miss it. It's time for some new ideas, and I'm ready for the next chapter for Marianne and for me. So I am looking forward to not wearing a tie every day.